Hey, Sip&Talkers, welcome back. It's your buddy Joe, ready to dive into some fascinating stuff with you today.
Always a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited for today's deep dive.
I'm Sunny, by the way.
Sunny, yeah, you're here. I got to tell you what happened the other day. This whole life scripts thing really got me thinking. And I was at the store, right? And this guy bumps into me.
Oh, no.
Not a big deal, but I swear I heard my inner voice go, "Watch it, punk." Like straight out of my dad's playbook. I swear I even stood a little taller. You know that puffed chest thing my dad does?
My gosh.
It's like,
yeah.
It's weird.
It's like these scripts are playing out in our lives all the time and we don't even realize it.
Exactly. It's freaky. And that's why I'm super excited for today's deep dive. Remember our awesome listener, Micky? Well, he sent us some killer notes on this book all about life scripts. And let me tell you, this thing is a revelation.
It really gets you thinking about how much of our behavior is actually our own.
Okay, before we get into it, a huge EE shout out to all our amazing listeners out there. You guys officially rock because we cracked the top 100 podcasts, all thanks to you.
Seriously, the support is unreal.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, so Micky hooked us up with 10 key takeaways from the book, and we're going to break them down for you, sip by sip.
Let's do this.
Takeaway number 1, the 3 selves. This is where things start to get wild. Micky points out that we've got these 3 inner voices, the parent, the child, and the adult. It's like a committee in our heads, and they're not always on the same page.
Yeah, it's so true. And it explains why we react in ways we don't always understand.
Right.
Like imagine you spill coffee all over yourself.
Oh, God.
The child might freak out, the parent might start lecturing you, and the adult is just trying to clean up the mess. Which self do you think wins out most often?
Probably depends on the situation, right? I'm on a first date and I spill something, it's child city.
Oh, yeah.
Joe can handle it. How about you, Sunny?
Well, I'd like to think my adult is in charge most of the time. But, those other voices definitely sneak in, especially when I'm stressed. Have you noticed that about yourself?
Oh, totally. When I'm under pressure, it's like my inner parent turns into a drill sergeant. It's crazy how these voices take over. Speaking of pressure, think about how this plays out with kids. Micky's second takeaway is all about programmed children. And it's basically saying that all those expectations we pile on kids, the be good, be smart, be athletic stuff, it's kind of like we're programming them like little robots.
Oh, it's like those old computers with punch cards. We're punching in all these commands hoping they'll turn into the perfect program.
And think about it. If you keep telling a kid they're clumsy, they might start believing it. It's like you're planting a seed that grows into a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And it goes even deeper. Micky's talking about how limiting a child's expression can actually be harmful. It's like we're trying to fit them into a box that may not be the right size or shape for them. I think about kids who are forced into sports when they'd rather be painting or writing. We're not seeing their wholeness, their full potential.
It's like trying to stuff a square peg into a round hole, right? It just doesn't fit. What do you think, listeners? Have you ever felt pushed into something that wasn't really you? Let us know.
And this leads perfectly into Micky's next point, which is witchcraft and wishes. Basically, it's about how these parental expectations, even the ones that are meant with love, can be like magic spells.
Whoa, hold on. So my parents were like casting spells on me. That's a little intense, Sunny.
It's not like actual witchcraft, Joe. It's more like, those good magic spells. Like when you encourage a kid and tell them they can do anything.
Yeah, like when my mom told me I could be an astronaut even though I'm scared of heights.
Exactly. But then there's the bad magic, like those "it's for your own good" pronouncements. They might be trying to protect us, but sometimes it ends up holding us back from what we really want.
It's like they're trying to program us for a life they think is best, but it might not be the life we want. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do we break free from those spells? Is it even possible?
Micky says it is, and that's what makes this so fascinating. It's about recognizing the spells, understanding where they came from, and then deciding if we want to keep them in our lives or not. It's like we're finally given the magic wand and we get to decide what kind of life we want to conjure up.
Okay, so it's not just about blaming our parents. There's hope. Tell me more.
That's the cool part. Joe, Micky's takeaway number 4 is hurting to heal. And it's about how sometimes people who've been hurt, they end up hurting others. It's not an excuse, but it's something to understand.
Makes sense. Like someone who's been criticized a lot might be quick to criticize others, right?
Exactly. It's like a defense mechanism, a way to protect themselves from feeling worthless, but it ends up creating this vicious cycle,
So are we saying all those mean internet comments are just cries for help?
Maybe not all of them, Joe. But think about it. When someone's lashing out, there's usually something deeper going on. Maybe they're feeling insecure or threatened.
So instead of getting defensive, we should try to understand where they're coming from. That's a tough one, Sunny.
It is tough, but it's powerful. Because once you see that hurt people, you can start to break that cycle in your own life. You can choose to respond with kindness instead of adding more pain to the world.
Man, that's deep. Could we need a palate cleanser after that one? What's next on Micky's list?
Well, this next one is all about reclaiming your power. Micky calls it escaping the script. It's about recognizing that we have the power to rewrite our stories, even if those early chapters were a bit rough.
So it's like those choose-your-own-adventure books.
Mm-hmm.
We get to decide where the story goes from here.
Exactly. Think about a time you defied expectations. A time you did something that surprised everyone, maybe even yourself.
Oh, man. Do you remember that time I tried stand-up comedy? Everyone thought it'd bomb, but I killed it.
You did kill it. And that's what I'm talking about. Those moments show you the power you have to break free, and that's what's so exciting about this idea of life scripts. It's not about blaming your past. It's about realizing you have the pen in your hand now. You get to write the next chapter.
I'm feeling empowered already. But hang on, Sunny. How do we even know what we want to write? I mean, what if those old scripts are so ingrained we don't even know what our true selves are anymore?
That's a great question, Joe. And it brings us to takeaway number 6, the economics of solace. This one's a little heady, but stick with me. It's about how we all have this deep need for comfort, for feeling safe and loved. And sometimes we try to fill that need in ways that don't actually work.
You're talking about retail therapy? Because I'm a black belt in that.
You and everyone else, Joe. But it's more than just buying stuff. It's about recognizing the underlying need.
So like if I'm stressed and I suddenly feel the urge to buy a new espresso machine, maybe it's not really about the coffee.
Exactly. Maybe it's about needing to feel in control or needing a little reward. It's about understanding those emotional triggers.
So what are we supposed to do? Just sit with our discomfort and never buy anything fun again?
No, not at all. It's about being mindful. Before you indulge, ask yourself, what need am I trying to meet here? And maybe you'll find a healthier, more fulfilling way to get that solace.
Mindfulness and espresso machines, got it. What else we got, Sunny?
Well, this next one ties in perfectly. Micky calls it body talk. And it's about paying attention to what our bodies are trying to tell us.
Oh man, my body is telling me to eat another donut.
It's not always about food, Joe, though sometimes it is. But think about those times you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. You get headaches, stomach aches. Does your back start to hurt?
Wait, you're telling me my back pain isn't from my killer workout routine?
Maybe, Joe, maybe. But the point is, our bodies are constantly sending us signals, and it's up to us to listen.
So instead of popping another painkiller, we should stop and ask, what's going on here?
Your body knows what it needs. You just have to learn to listen.
This is blowing my mind, Sunny. I feel like I'm learning a new language. What's next?
All right, this next one is a bit of a hot topic. Micky calls it gender roles, the conspiracy. He's basically saying that those stereotypical expectations for men and women, they're not just suggestions, they're like this unspoken code we're all supposed to follow.
Like men have to be tough and strong and never cry, and women have to be sweet and nurturing and always put everyone else first.
Exactly. And it starts early. Think about the toys we give kids, the clothes we dress them, and the stories we tell them. It's all part of this grand conspiracy to mold us into these predefined roles.
And the thing is, it limits everyone. Men are afraid to show their emotions, and women are afraid to be assertive. It's like we're all stuck in these boxes playing roles that someone else wrote for us.
Exactly. And it's not about blaming anyone. It's about recognizing those limitations and then asking ourselves, do I want to play this role? Or do I want to write my own script?
So ladies, if you want to rock a power suit and ask for that raise, go for it. And fellas, if you need a good cry, let it out. Tears are for everyone.
Exactly. It's about being true to yourself regardless of what society says you should be.
Okay, my head is spinning. We've got to get to Micky's last 2 points. What's next?
All right, this one's all about finding your true self. Micky calls it finding your center.
Sounds kind of zen, Sunny. Are we talking meditation retreats and chanting?
Not necessarily, Joe. It's more about finding that place within yourself where you feel grounded, where you feel at peace with who you are.
So it's like that feeling you get when you're doing something you love, something that just feels right.
Exactly. It's about connecting with your values, your passions, your purpose. And once you find that center, it becomes your compass guiding you through life's ups and downs.
Okay, I'm getting this. It's about finding that thing that makes you feel truly alive.
And it's a journey, Joe. It's not something you find overnight. It takes exploration, self-reflection, and maybe a few wrong turns along the way.
So like if I'm feeling lost, maybe instead of freaking out, I should look at it as an opportunity to explore new paths.
Exactly. It's all part of the process. And who knows, you might even discover some hidden talents or passions you didn't even know you had.
Speaking of hidden talents, I'm pretty sure I'm a world-class whistler. You want to hear?
Maybe another time, Joe. We've got one more takeaway to cover.
Okay, hit me with it.
All right, this last one is all about raising kids who are confident and capable. Micky calls it kids, choice, and chaos. He's basically saying that giving kids choices, even if it means a little chaos, is essential for their development.
Okay, I'm on board with the choices part, but chaos, I'm not so sure about that.
Think about it this way, Joe. When we give kids choices, we're teaching them to think for themselves, to make decisions, and to take responsibility for those decisions.
But what if they make the wrong choices? What if they choose to eat ice cream for breakfast?
Well, maybe they learn that ice cream for breakfast doesn't make you feel so good. It's about letting them experience the consequences of their choices within safe boundaries, of course.
So it's about guiding them, not controlling them.
Exactly. And it's not just about parenting. It's about recognizing where in our own lives we might be clinging to old scripts, relying on external validation instead of trusting our own inner compass.
Whoa, that's a powerful thought. So it's about empowering ourselves and the next generation to break free from those limiting scripts and write our own damn stories.
You got it, Joe. It's about realizing that we're not just actors following a predetermined script. We're the writers, the directors, the producers of our own lives.
Mic drop. I think we need a refill after that one. Man, Micky really threw us a curveball with this one. My brain is officially fried.
Mine too, but in a good way, Ree.
Oh, absolutely. This whole life scripts thing is a game changer. I'm definitely going to be paying closer attention to my inner voices from now on.
Me too. It's like a whole new level of self-awareness.
And a huge thanks to Micky for sharing his notes with us. Sip&Talkers, if you want more of Micky's brilliance, you got to check out his YouTube channel, Mickytolife.
Yes, he's got all sorts of fun stuff on there. Travel vlogs, whiskey reviews.
Now you're speaking my language. We'll drop a link in the show notes.
And for those of you who are really intrigued by this life scripts concept, I highly recommend checking out the book itself. Micky's notes are a great starting point, but the book dives even deeper.
Solid advice, Sunny. Knowledge is power, people, so go forth and learn.
And remember, you are the author of your own story.
You heard it here first. Sip&Talkers. Until next time, stay curious, stay awesome, and keep those sips and talks flowing. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mic drop. I think we need a refill after that one.
Yeah.
Man, Micky really threw us a curveball with this one.